Welcome to the Stabler and Friends podcast. I'm your host, Stabler, and today I am joined by my friend, one of the funniest people I know. You can follow him on YouTube under just_in_time. That is just in time with underscores in between, where you can watch him give hot sauce reviews and also some pretty great rants about whatever's on his mind. This is the guy who always puts a smile on my face and who got me out of bed this morning to do this podcast because, man, I was struggling to get out of bed today. Let me introduce to you guys a reoccurring friend of the podcast, Justin Stevens. Mr. Justin Stevens, how you doing?
Good, sir. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. Pleasure is all mine.
It's always great hanging with you, man. I actually really
I didn't get you out of bed. Like, I just want to let that be known. It's not like me and Steve had a sleepover and I like nudged him up. No, I just gave him a text message being like, "You doing this today or what?" Like,
yeah. And it was exactly what I needed because I was ready to just reset my alarm for noon again. I had the day off today and I went out last night with a buddy and probably stayed out later than I should, stayed up later and feeling it today, but nothing a little Mountain Dew and pizza can't fix. So we're ready to roll.
What kind of pizza you chowing? What you got there?
Just a little plug for Domino's, pepperoni, ham, and green peppers.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that hit the spot. Dude, I haven't talked to you since you started. Like, we've talked a little bit, but we haven't had you on the show since you started doing your hot sauce reviews, man. How did you get into this?
There was a day that I was just down. I was down at that Quilted Bear, that Burn Your Tongue booth, and I was buying some stuff. I was buying a couple sauces, and the owner was down there, and he was just like, "Hey, you into this? You interested in doing reviews?" And that's kind of how the whole thing just started up. And like, I'd always watch like Hot Ones and stuff, and we had you sponsored or you put together an awesome Hot Ones with the friends back in like November. Which is like an amazing time. Yeah, just an amazing time. And it just kind of just started rolling. And now I've got a fridge full of like 90 different hot sauces that have like expiration dates till like 2023. So they're good forever, like they're good for it. So if anybody wants any hot sauces without buying the whole bottle, I'll just hit me up. Stay where I always got you. And you also recommended the scorpion one that you say you put on pizza, which is fire. That's good stuff.
Yeah, dude. I think that's my favorite. And then there's Ghost Island has a pineapple hot sauce, and
Ooh.
that's the best one. Karma sauce is what it's called.
Karma sauce is good. Yeah, they've got so many different good ones. Oh yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's a funny story. So while we were doing podcasting, I've always just kind of tried to find like little ways to get like some sponsorships around local Ogden things. The only thing I've ever got was Raptors tickets from so that was really cool. He's just like, yeah, go ahead, just go to the box office, we'll hook you up. And they had about 20 of them just ready for me, like box seats, any games, to give out. But we did that. So for my birthday, we did that hot sauce challenge. It was COVID time, so we just did it all over Zoom. We made little like care packages, and we started from the most mild hot sauce to the hottest. And anyways, I thought it was pretty cool. I think I was going to share it, and I went down and I saw the guy at the Quilted Bear, and I asked him, I just told him how cool of a party we had and how great it was and how I do a podcast. And I was just like, kind of like, come on, man, you want to give me some, without like straight up asking. And he seemed to have no interest in me at all. He's like, "Oh, well, good, man. I'm glad you had a good time." And then like 2 weeks later, I see you're getting the hot sauce sponsorship. So I was like, what's the trick here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Robert's a cool dude. Yeah, he's a genuine dude. If you haven't tried any of the Bear River bottling stuff that's made up in Logan, everything like, oh, it's so good, dude. I'll bring you over a bottle of like jalapeno grass fire or something like that. It's like one of the best ones, bro. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. And it doesn't like melt your face off. Like, it's like an enjoyable hot sauce. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, let's see what the hottest one is. Let's see." And it's like, no, like at a certain time, it just tastes like lava and dirt, like it's not enjoyable anymore. It's like you find that middle level that it's just a daily that you're just like, yeah, that's prime.
Yeah.
That's prime.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have no shame. So if you talk to Robert and you want to get me a hookup, you let me know, man. You tell him to call me.
I'll tell him, dude. He'll probably send some your way, dude, for sure. He really will.
Cool. That's Burn Your Tongue hot sauce company in the Quilted Bear, correct?
Yeah, and then they've also expanded to like they've got like 2 or 3 different other booths up in like Logan, and I think he's got I can't remember if there's another one out in Layton, but yeah, he's expanding. So,
But clearly not as good as Buffalo Wild Wings sauces, right? I know you're a big fan.
oh yeah, dude, yeah, that place bomb.com, bro. Yeah, I saw they had like a challenge going on where you had like the blazing, like you ate like 12, or they get something happens. I'm not even sure like if they give you like a t-shirt or just pat you on the back or what. But if you want to go down, dude, let's do it, because that's apparently I need to try the cheese curds, and that's going to change my whole perception on Buffalo Wild Wings.
If you guys are listening, you didn't know, if you don't follow Justin on social media, this guy hates the stickiness of Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'm assuming the flavors as well and the meat.
Why is it so sticky? Everything's, you touch the table, dude, it's sticky. The door handles are sticky. Everything's sticky there, bro. Oh.
That's the charm to it. But anyways, I do have a hookup there with a friend that if nobody leaves their royal rewards phone number, my number gets punched in, so I have a ton of free reward points. So let's go get some cheese curds and some wings sometime, man.
So the cheese curds, people say dip it in caramel, like cheese with caramel.
I
Like that,
seen I seen them do it. I put it in the Southwest sauce, but
really?
yeah, but I've seen some people do it and they love it, but I tried it, not for me.
No, it just sounds like a weird mixture. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a sweet connoisseur myself. I like savory myself, but
I'm not gonna slam it until I try it. Like, I mean, it sounds weird, but I'm not gonna be like, no. Like, I'll try it. I'll try it. Yeah, I'll try it. Unless I try to walk in and they're like, no, dude. We've seen what you've done. We've seen you post up and tell us how sticky everything is. Like, we're not letting you in the door. That's kind of my goal. I'm like, sorry guys, I can't see you there. I can't go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm blackballed.
no, we're taking you in. I'm gonna announce this is Justin Stevens. We need to change his opinion. What is that? Is that a purple Raptors hat or is that blue?
Yeah, it is. It's purple.
I like that, man.
Yeah, the what is it? The Pro Image down in the Newgate Mall. I
Yeah,
guess they have like a bunch of like exclusive like stitching and like colors that are like store specific. So
yeah.
that's where I would get my Raptors hat.
I love them, dude. I got one there. I was actually gonna wear it today, so I'm glad that I probably should have. We would have been twinsies, but went with my Sun Devils hat. I like the little trident.
Dude, yeah. Hey, I noticed your shirt. I noticed your Dan Patrick shirt. Have you seen the Utah Jello shirt that he had on his website for a
I
little bit?
did. Yeah. I was thinking about getting one of those. They're pretty funny. They come out with a lot of good shirts. That's man, I feel like we're plugging a lot of people today, but yeah, Dan Patrick
And it's
is my
all
idol,
free.
dude.
Yeah, it's all free. It's all, hey, you know what? You're also looking for sponsorships. So Dan, BWW,
Pro image.
Stabler,
Bring it on.
Stabler. Yeah, Pro Image right here. Yeah, Stabler. He'll sport the gear every single time he jumps in front of the camera. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
For sure. All right, let's move on from our shameless plugs and attempts to get sponsorships. And we got NBA playoffs coming up, but tonight is play in. And I gotta be honest with you, man. Ever since baseball started, I've probably watched one, maybe two NBA games. So since April, I haven't watched any basketball. I think the first game I watched uh from first to finish was the Lakers and Warriors
Yeah.
on Tuesday night, I believe, or Wednesday. I can't remember. Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need you to catch me up, man. Who's hot? Who's not? What are we looking for? Let's start with tonight's game. Memphis at Golden State. Golden State kind of collapsed in the game on Wednesday when I watched. They had a really good first half and then just kind of fell apart. Couldn't do any answers for the Lakers. You think they bounce back tonight pretty easily, or is Memphis going to give them a challenge?
I think tonight, I think Golden State is always just one of those ones. It's different seeing them all the way down there. It's different. That's just the way that it is. But I think they're one of those teams that are just they're playoff build. Like they're playoff build regardless of who's come and gone. Like they're still top contenders. Like it's kind of from a Jazz fan perspective, you kind of want to be like you want to root for the Grizzlies, but then you're also kind of just like, you know what? Maybe Golden State, let's just take care of it right out of the gate. But Memphis is they're here to play. Like they're playing ball right now. So it's kind of just like it's sevens. Like they're both really good teams right now. But underrated 8 seed, like they are.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you would rather see the Jazz play Memphis?
I think deep down inside, yeah, but it's almost like, I mean, I think the last game the Jazz played against Golden State, they handled them pretty well. I think they beat them almost by 20, like it was like 127 to 108 or something like that. I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but I think the
Yeah,
Jazz handled them pretty well, and I think everybody was at full health too when they did play. So it should be, if we do see them in the playoffs, it should be a really good matchup, honestly.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's between Memphis and Golden State out of the possibilities because I didn't want to see the Lakers. Like, what kind of prize is that? You get the first seed in the regular season and you get to play the Lakers. Like,
Yeah,
even for Phoenix being the second seed and having to play the Lakers is, I mean, I know that they're not fully healthy, but if like as this playoffs progress, if they get healthier, like that's basically a one seed that's going through from the bottom, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So,
And would you want to? Would you? I mean, do you want to see LA keep climbing, or do you want to see Phoenix knock them out?
oh, I absolutely want to see Phoenix knock him out. I'm a huge Chris Paul fan. He's still my number one guy in the NBA. So I'm rooting for
Yeah,
him this year. Jazz number one, obviously, but if they can't do it, I'm hoping Phoenix gets it because I'm a big fan of Chris Paul, and I think that'd be pretty cool for him to lead those young kids. Um, yeah, excuse me. But yeah, it sounds like from everything I've been reading and hearing about Golden State against the Jazz is it sounds like we have a good matchup against them. They're gonna basically just let Curry get his 40 a night and try and shut down Draymond and Andrew Wiggins. And Wiggins is just inconsistent. And Draymond's a force. I feel like he's pretty underrated myself, but I just don't think they have enough. If Mitchell's healthy, which sounds like they're going to be watching his minutes, but it's more of a cardio thing now, not an injury thing. They're just trying to ramp him back up. Is that right?
yeah. It says the last thing I saw was they're anticipating he plays one, but which if sports has taught me anything, it's usually like, yeah, unless they're completely sandbagging it. Like, I mean, unless they're just completely hiding something. But it sounds I don't see Don missing. I don't see Don missing the first game.
And Conley, when did he come back? I know he was hurt for a little bit.
Did he play? Um, was he at the Portland game? I'm trying to think if he was at the last or at the was Portland the last home game? I'm trying to think what the last home game was. Was it Portland?
I believe so. I really
Um,
couldn't tell you since I haven't been watching much, but I do follow along. I do read along a lot, but uh, yeah, if I was just wondering if he's looking like he's ready to go too, because I feel like he's a big X factor for us. I think he's the one that's gonna like kind of propel us.
I want to say that he was. I want to say that he was playing against Portland, and it's, besides Mitchell, I really think that we're locked and loaded. I think we're good to go.
Yeah,
We're good to go.
yeah, it'll be fun. Get through this. Hope somebody can knock the Lakers off, and then somebody can knock the Suns off, and we got just the Clippers. We can beat the Clippers. I think I really do.
No, yeah, oh yeah. I'm
Um,
biased. I'm completely biased. We can beat anybody right now for sure.
I like the vote of confidence. I had a lot of confidence, and then they got their asses kicked by the Suns so many times that I'm just like, I don't want to see them. Um, aside from the Jazz, any other intriguing matchups or any teams you're looking for?
I think I'm interested to see the Sixers or the 76ers really. Like it just seems like the whole Simmons and Mitchell thing, but like watching them play is amazing. Watching the 76ers play is amazing. Uh, I'm very interested to see what the Nets do, to see if it's all worth it, if it's gonna even pan out the way that everybody thought that it was going to. And I really think that I would love to have an open road. I'd love to have an open road, but even just watching LA, like just imagine us just taking LeBron out. Like how good would that feel?
Oh, that
You know what I mean?
so sweet, especially after he was talking trash on the Jazz at the All-Star break and drafting Rudy and everybody last.
So one of my favorite things that Ryan Smith did was him and his wife wore the NBA Jam Karl Malone John Stockton t-shirts to
Uh-huh.
the All-Star game. Did you see that?
Uh-uh.
Him and his wife had made t-shirts with the old NBA Jam, Carmelo and John Stockton, and he was like all-star vibes. He posted up on Twitter after LeBron had made that stupid comment. So
that's hilarious.
I was like immediate, like, I mean, Ryan seemed like a cool dude anyways, but yeah, once he posted the pictures of those shirts, I was like, that's my kind of guy right there, just trolling. But I think the Dallas and the Dallas and Clippers matchup.
Yeah.
I enjoy Cuban. I think Dallas has got a team. But then again, I think that like I said, that Brooklyn and Boston matchup, I think that's gonna be one of my favorite ones to watch for sure.
Yeah. I think poor Luka, he's got the skills, but I just don't think he has the talent around him. And I know that Porzingis isn't where he needs to be. I just think they get crushed, but it's going to be fun. It's going to probably look like Dame Lillard a couple years ago, where it's just tearing the house down by himself, basically. I was looking at some other matchups. I do want to see, I think the Bucks versus the Heat rematch from last playoffs is going to be pretty good. I think they're probably the most even in the matchups. I kind of am interested to see, like you said, the Sixers are a lot of fun. Can they stay healthy? They're playing the Wizards, who are just unbelievably hot right now. Bill put up like 50 points last night.
Damn. What about if you could pick who you want to see? You want to see Dame time, or you want to see Denver take that one?
Ooh, actually, damn, I didn't even know that was the matchup. That's how bad I am right now. I'm just like barely catching up. We're just kind of shooting from the hip here. I mean, I would love to see Dame do it. I'm a big Lillard fan, obviously, because Weber State, great. But I just think Denver, man, 2 years ago, I thought they were going to be like the best team in the West. And it seems like they had a lot of injuries and things like that. But it looks like Michael Porter's coming into his own from what I've noticed. And Jokic, possible MVP. Is he getting your MVP vote?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they got a lot of talent. I don't think that Portland can beat them, because I don't know. I just don't think they have enough firepower. What do you think?
I think I'm taking Portland to take that one. I think it's going to be close. I don't think Portland's going to run away with it by any means, but I think they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, nice.
I've actually got. Can you see him? I've got Lillard 5s on.
Oh,
Weber State Lillard 5s on today. So yeah.
So clean.
I've got a shoe fetish. I'm not like a foot fetish guy, which is kind of TMI, but like I like shoes, like on me. So like I don't have a foot fetish, but I have a shoe fetish. I've got a shoe fetish. Yeah. There you go.
That's great. And I just have a foot fetish, so we're compatible here. Show me your toes.
There's money to be made in that, dude. If you know what, and if I was, maybe I'm stepping out of line here.
No, let's keep it going.
Anyway, if I was a woman and a man was like, let me see it, I'd send foot pedal. I said foot pedals all day long. If somebody was asking to see pictures of my feet, all day long, no questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that's the easiest gig ever. Like just showing toes, showing feet.
All day.
I once worked with this girl who it was like before OnlyFans, and she had some type of an OnlyFans type thing with feet. Like I worked at a job that didn't pay well. She worked with me, so I knew she wasn't getting paid well there either. But she was like showing up with like brand new Apple phones, AirPods, like all this stuff. I'm like, how are you getting all this stuff? And she tells me that she has like something along the lines of an OnlyFans, and she just does feet. And then she has an Amazon wish list, and they just send her like tons of things. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you just show your feet? She's like, yeah, I just kind of like go to the camera, like just click them together and this and that. And sometimes they ask me to like pretend I'm like a giant like Godzilla, and I make like my kids' toys like little buildings, and I stomp on grapes and shit like that. I was like,
are you being what?
Yeah, there's money to be made.
Oh my gosh.
Probably less degrading than half of the jobs I've ever had. So I'm no judgment on my end.
Rex Ryan hits up your DMs, dude, asking for your feet pic. Yeah, you're in. You're in, dude.
Poor Rex Ryan just getting it thrown out there. Oh man. But yeah, when I said I have a foot fetish, that was just a little inside joke that we have going on. My wife, what happened the other day? We had my nephew over. We were watching WrestleMania, and he's like 12 or 13. He's just kind of like maturing, like, and he doesn't know what he's talking about and things like that. And she walked by me and my legs were up on like the recliner, and she's like, "Hey, will you come help me grab the groceries?" And like slapped the bottom of my foot. And my nephew goes, "Aunt Haley, do you have a foot fetish?" And she's like, "What the hell did you just say to me? Like, don't say that to your aunt." And he's like, he like didn't know what it was. So so my wife like Googles what the definition is, and it's like sexual attraction to feet, and his face just went bright red, and he's like, "I'm sorry." Like,
did he say like what he thought? Did he say like what he thought he was?
No, I guess we should have followed up on that, but we just decided to go the other route and shut it down as quickly as possible because it was really kind of strange.
That's awesome, dude. Oh, well, maybe it's better to get ahead of it before he's behind it, dude. Like, who knows how many other times he said that to somebody and he was like, got a foot fetish. Like what I kind of did,
Yeah.
And here we are. Like I just got innocent talking about my shoes, and now look at this amazing story that's come out.
Yeah, look how the path we went on, just thanks to Dame Lillard and his fresh kicks.
No idea Haley had a foot fetish. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check out your feet sometime.
Yeah, I'll show you my toes. Oh shit, let's get back to some basketball, shall we? This like I said, isn't my expertise, but let's start on the Jazz. What are your expectations, and what do you like? What would be a disappointment in the season for you?
I think anything less than Western Conference Championship is going to be. I mean, I think that's it's where we want to be. Obviously, hoisting the trophy at the end of the day is what I want to see, because I think we're built for it. We're definitely built for it. So that being said, I mean, the pinnacle. Let's hoist it up. But I think how we've done as far as our record reflects that we're the best, and we need to show that. Like, if we're not at the Western Conference Championship, then it was a waste. It's a complete waste. Numbers, I mean, we're 0-0 right now. Everybody's starting from the exact same spot. Like, it's playoff basketball, 52-20 or whatever it was. That record doesn't matter anymore. But if we're not based off of the 52-20, if we don't hit Western Conference Championships, it's a complete waste of time.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, and I think I would want it at least to be competitive in the Western Conference Finals. Like, if they get there and get swept or something, I still feel like that'd be a huge waste of a season. And this is a very, very small window. I think there's going to be more super teams emerging. And right now it's like we got the Lakers a little bit hurt. The Nets haven't played too many games together, so there's not really that super team right now that's really running away with it. So the Jazz really kind of remind me of the 2005 Detroit Pistons when they beat the Lakers. They weren't the most talented, but they had good chemistry, played hard, and ultimately ended up winning the championship. So I do have my hopes up high right now. Like I said, I was a little disappointed by how they got worked by the Suns. So I feel like that's going to be a pretty scary thing if we have to play against them. But you just said that it's 0-0. It's a fresh start. It's like a whole new season. Can I get into my rant about what turns me off about basketball?
Before you start tell me what you think about the play-in tournament, like, instead of how it used to be. Do you enjoy what they've got going right now?
I think it's fun. I do like it. I think it gives a little bit more hope to teams. That kind of ties in with my rant. So my beef is 16 teams, half the league makes the playoffs. We do 82 games to let half the league, like, that's participation. there has only been the highest seed to win a championship was a 6 seed, and it only happened once. A 5 seed has never won it, and neither has a 7 or 8. I just think that there's too many teams. I think these first rounds are just cash grabs. I think it's lazy. I would really, really like it if we did 6 playoff teams on each side, so drop down 4 total, and then do a play-in game for the 5 and 6 seed. I think I would really enjoy that, or even doing 5 teams and then giving the first seed a bye in the first round. So then 2 would play 5, 3 would play 4, and then the 1 would get a bye. I feel like it would bring more competition to the regular season. I think there would be a lot less off days. I mean, you saw LeBron came back. He could have played probably a few more games earlier if they needed him to. He came back when their backs were against the wall to try and get them out of that playing thing. Like, there'd be no off days, and if there were, like, they'd really have to consider that. Like, is it worth getting this guy rest because we could slip in the playoffs? We want that number 1 seed. We want that bye. You know what I mean? Like, I would really like to see that. I know that it'll never happen because I think NBA is hotter than it's ever been, viewer wise and endorsement wise, television contracts and everything like that. So they just want games, throw them out there. Who cares how meaningless they are?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what turns me off, is like, why am I watching this whole season when it's just going to get to the playoffs where any team that's somewhat decent is going to make it in? And then it's like, okay, now you might have a couple matchups in the first round that are really intriguing, but for the most part, after that, it's like, yeah, that's when it gets to the good teams, you know, like that's where I want to be, is just second round of the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, going along with that, I mean, how many times can we look back, and I'm sure the number's very high. Maybe I'm just talking, but as far as 1 playing 8, 2 playing 7, how many times have we seen sway 3-1, whatever it's going to be? It's just an ass kicking the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's cool. They can squeeze a game, like maybe game 3 or something like that when they get back on their home grid. But it's kind of just like, most of the time, it's just 4.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, the last 8 seed I can think of that beat a 1 seed was when Dallas got knocked off by the Golden State Warriors with Baron Davis. And then they played the Jazz the next round, and that's the year that the Jazz got to the Western Conference Finals against the Spurs and then got swept.
Was that 7, 8? Is that Boozer and Darren?
It was. And then Derek Fisher came at the halftime, looked like a WWE. Like, by God, he's coming in through the locker room, and he's surrounded by cops like Goldberg, and he comes in and hits a couple daggers, and then lies about his kid being sick and leaves us to go to the Lakers to win a championship.
Seems like just yesterday. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I still got my baby blue Fisher jersey. I really liked him. But did you know I was kind of a Lakers fan growing up?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, it's kind of. So let me give you a little history of my fandom. Always really liked Karl Malone. My aunt and uncle took me to my first Jazz game, and it was against the Hornets. So I fell in love with Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson just because one was a tiny man and the other one dressed like an old woman and did slam dunks inside of a shoe. What's not to like, right? So, and it seemed like
back when Alonzo was there too. Wasn't Alonzo Mourning with him too?
I think he was. I didn't really know Alonzo until he went to the Heat, though. I wasn't super into it. I was still just kind of a kid getting into the groove. But yeah, I do remember Larry Johnson, LJ, and and his grandmama. So if you guys have never seen it, look up Larry Johnson grandma. Or grandmama, and it's him as an old lady who lived in a shoe, and then he just starts doing slam dunks, front flips. It's hilarious. So I was really into that. Then I got into the Jazz when they started going to the Western Conference Finals, and I just loved Brian Russell and Karl Malone and Hornacek, and Stockton not so much because I saw him and I tried to get his autograph and he wouldn't give it to me, so I still hold this bitterness towards him.
Have you read, sorry to interrupt, dude. Have you read kind of why he's very anti-autograph?
No, what is his reasoning behind that?
So he's got a book called Assisted, and it's super awesome. The book is amazing. And he did a book signing out of the Delta Center, and I'm always going to call it that because that's what it is. And I missed the opportunity to get his autograph, but there was a time that he was doing autographs. And somebody was like, hey, they had like an 8x10 and they put it in Stockton's face and said, can you sign this? And he was like, yeah. So he takes it and signs it. And then he's like, can you also sign these? And so he pulled out a bunch of other 8x10s. And Stockton was like, it became that moment for me. Like he realized he was like, that wasn't like a special thing for that person. They were trying to benefit and get like all these different autographs. And so he was like, ever since then, he was like, it's like a kid or like any of that kind of stuff. But he was like, that moment showed me that it was like, it wasn't something special to somebody. They were taking it for profit and they were trying to get revenue off of my signature. And he was like, that's not what I was about and everything. And I mean, it's cool. Like I'd hate to have, I mean, it'll never happen, but like if somebody, that would hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? They're just like, I don't give a crap about your signature. Like I'm just trying to make money off it. Like that would hurt.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I mean, those people are out there, but I feel like the majority would just be like little fanboys like us, you know, that just big eyes, big starry eyed looking up at John Stockton, like, hey, sign my, I don't even remember what I tried to have him sign. I think it was like my program or something. And and he wouldn't do it. But you know who did? Greg Ostertag.
That's the man right there. The original 00. I love Clarkson, man, but that's the original GOAT, dude. That's the original 00, dude.
Yeah, he signed me and then signed the autograph, gave it back to me, and then handed me his empty water bottle and said, throw this away for me, kid, will you? that was my interaction with old Osty.
Shut up, dude. That's a memory. That's a memory, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. My mom used to work at Nordstrom back when the Ogden Mall was open, and they'd have these big Christmas parties. And 2 years in a row, she won in a raffle front row seats, like on the floor.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, and she doesn't care about sports at all. So she's so sweet. She just let my dad and I go, and it was great, man. We went and saw it was the Spurs, and it was the year that David Robinson was out, and the year before they drafted Tim Duncan, and Dominique Wilkins was there, but he was like way out of his prime. But we still got to see the human highlight reel. Jeff Ostertag, or not Jeff Ostertag, Jeff Hornacek fell into my dad's lap. Like it was just crazy, dude. It's like crazy. You can hear like everything that they're saying. They talk a lot of shit, those guys back in the day.
Dude, you went to a game then, dude. You went to the Spurs game? Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember the other year. I think we saw like the Raptors or something, but it was before. I don't know. I didn't know anybody on the Raptors then. So
you touched the floor, huh? While playing that. That's awesome, dude. I'm jealous.
Yeah, one time on the baseline, just underneath the basket. So, or two times, but it was cool. And then you get a little, you take your ticket and you go underneath, and you get to have a dinner before the game. And at halftime, they just have loads of popcorn and ice cream and things like that, dude. So quite the experience, dude. If I ever get another chance, Haley's work has season tickets, and they hooked us up one time, and we got the same experience from about the 8th row, but you get the lunch and everything. And then it's also open bar, like all you can drink beer and wine.
That sounds terrible. Horrible experience.
Just awful.
Hey, so I gotta. You mentioned your meet with Greg. I told you about Carl, right? My Carl Malone.
Yes.
So, and I told you like meeting him at Gracie's.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. I took a photo. I'm gonna make this very short. Took a photo of many years ago. We were waiting in line in Smith's parking lot on 42nd Street, and it was hot. My mom had 3 little boys there with her. We were standing in line. She's like, "There ain't no way this is happening. There ain't no way. It's too hot. These kids are miserable." So she gets to the front of the line and she snaps the photo. Pop. And he sees her and he goes, "You need to wait in line with everybody else." And so my mom puts the camera back up and takes another photo of him. And so I got this photo of him pointing at my mom. So I'm sitting there waiting in Gracie's line, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell him about this." And she's like, "Hey, this is a photo back from many years ago. You and my mom exchanged some words." And he goes, "You talk to your mom often?" And I go, "Yeah, like every single week." And he's like, "Put her on the phone." And I was like, "Oh no." And so my mom never answers her phone either, dude. So I was just like dialing, and I'm just like, "Mom, if you're gonna answer your phone, today's the day."
Today is the
day. "Hello." And I'm like, "Mom, somebody wants to talk to you." And he takes my phone from me and he's like, "Just Michelle." And I was like, "Oh dang." And he was just like, "Apparently me and you didn't get along a couple years ago." And I remember exactly what else he said, but he's like, "All right, here's your son." And so she hands it back to me, and I was just like, "Hey, Mom, did you hear that?" She's like, "Who was that?" And I was like, "That was Karl Malone." And she's like, "Okay, bye." And I was like, "What? What?" And so he signs it for us. We get pictures with him, and then I call her after, and I'm like, "Mom, that was Karl Malone." She's like, "I thought that was." She's like, "I didn't think that was serious." And I was just like, "Yeah, that was Karl Malone." So my mom was just like, "Whatever, bye." Like, no, he apologized to you for you snapping his photo a few years ago. But yeah, dude, he was out there for some Budweiser gig, and I'm pretty sure that he had been partaking of the beverages for many hours before that, because he was dancing there, and he was all loosey, like.
All right. That is a hell of a story, man. I think you told me before, and we did it on one of the podcasts that I didn't get published because I was having troubles with like the audio or something. I can't remember what it was, but I'm glad you told that story because it makes me laugh every time.
I love my mother. I love my mother.
Is she a big jazz fan at all, or not really?
Yeah. I mean, I think after '97, I think after the second loss, I think my parents both kind of like came down, but I think they're enjoying it again these last couple of years, so they're backing up.
Cool. I know. I'm really wanting to get back into it, man. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like my fandom's going down on it. Like I still like I'll put a game on and I get excited when I watch it, but it's like I just haven't had that itch to like just watch jazz games and everything. So I'm hoping with the playoffs that my enjoyment's gonna go back up. Like my passion bucket's gonna be filled up, you know.
I hope so.
All right, let's I'm going to have to take a quick break here in just a moment. I have another guest coming on. But real quick, let's go through the matchups right now of the first round. And I want you to tell me who you think's going to win each one. Okay.
Sure.
We got Utah versus either Memphis or Golden State. Obviously Utah, right?
Picking Utah.
Okay. Number 4 Clippers versus number 5 Dallas.
Picking Los Angeles.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you here. We talked earlier. You said you think Portland's got Denver's number on this one.
Let's do it. Yeah, Portland.
Okay, that's our difference there. I'm going Denver. Phoenix and Lakers.
I think I'd hope the Lakers, but I think it's going to be Phoenix. I think it's going to be Phoenix.
I agree with you. I think it is going to be Phoenix. I think they're a more complete team, and they're a lot healthier right now and a lot younger. That I think that they're just going to run up and down on them. Never put it past LeBron though, from coming up clutch and taking over when he needs to. So that will be fun to watch. Eastern side, Philly versus the Washington Wizards. 76ers versus Wizards. Who you got?
Washington, I think not in this matchup. I think Philly's playing. I think Philly's playing. It's Sixers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. This one's gonna be kind of fun. 4 versus 5, New York Knicks and Atlanta Hawks.
I wouldn't normally pick the Knicks, but that's who I'm going with. Yeah, I think they might see round 2.
I think I'm with you there. Let's see, Milwaukee versus Miami. This is my intriguing matchup of the playoffs so far. What do you think? Miami got them last year. Milwaukee come back?
No, I think Miami's going to do it.
Do you?
I just got to, yeah. I think Miami's going to do it. That's like one of my favorite jerseys too, by the way. That black with like the hot pink and like fluorescent blue. I love that variation. That's a great looking jersey.
Hell yeah! I did a post earlier on jerseys, asking people to tell me what their first jersey they remember having. What's your first jersey that you remember having?
First jersey was it's a Mountain Stockton. It's the Circle Jazz logo Stockton.
Purple?
White.
Oh, white. Okay, nice. That's a good one. Mine was a turquoise Grant Hill Detroit Pistons.
Ooh.
Yeah, thought it was pretty clean. My last
Grant
name was
Hill.
Hill.
Right.
Yeah. He had the same last name as me. Is cool in Sprite commercials. I think I was just kind of like made weird lies as a kid. I don't know why I did, like to like just sound cool, but I think I told people that Grant Hill was my cousin, which I mean we're very identical, so I know that people believe that.
You never know, dude. You never know. 23 and me, dude. He might be in your tree, bro.
We might find out. Well, Grant Hill might have some Scandinavian in him. All right, and then our last matchup, Brooklyn versus Boston.
This is tough. I think you kind of want to see the juggernauts fall, but I think I'm going Boston. Let him fall.
Absolutely, dude. Let's go Boston. No, I think the Nets are gonna get it, but
you think so?
Yeah, I do. I think, I mean, they're saying they've only played 12 games with the big three, but I mean, they're so talented, and we forget that Harden and Durant were on a team for a few seasons together. They still know how to play with each other. They know each other's ways. They're just more talented now than they've ever been. I just see the Nets running away with it. I'm hoping Philly can stay healthy and give them a run towards the end there. I'd like to see Embiid in the championship. I'm a big Embiid fan, not so much Simmons, so it's kind of bittersweet for me.
Yeah. So if the Jazz end up going, who do you want to see on the other side in the East? You want to see?
Oh, let's see. A team that I think legitimately has a chance that I would like to see is Philadelphia. Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite team in the East. It'd be kind of fun to see if the Knicks could make a run, but who knows? I don't think they got it in them.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I think Sixers and Jazz would be a dream matchup. I'm with you on that.
Cool, man. Well, Justin, thank you so much for getting me out of bed today and getting me to do this. I love chatting with you. I love podcasting. Sometimes I just need that little push, brother. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm gonna have to have you over for Justin Time podcast, dude. We can ramble on about a bunch of other different crap, dude.
I would be delighted to come on. Let me know what your next time. I'll try anything, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. We're gonna get you on, dude. We'll have another amazing session, dude. Much appreciated having me on today, bro.
For sure, man. All right. Again, thank you, Justin, for being on the show. This is the Stabler and Friends podcast. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back with my little final closing rant, and then and possibly my other guest, the Cat Daddy Gus. So stay tuned after this break. All right, guys. Welcome back to the next segment in today's episode. Joining me is a friend I met back when I was working at the Olive Garden at the OG. He made me laugh all the time, hanging out in the kitchen, cracking me up, teaching me dance moves. Allow me to introduce my main man, Gus, aka the Cat Daddy. Gus, how you doing?
Good, man. Glad to be on your show. And yes,
I know
this is some good times.
This is fun.
Doing old dancing in the back, dude.
Yeah, you taught me the Cat Daddy, and that's why I think I started calling you that.
It just stuck, dude. Yeah.
That
was awesome.
Those are some good times, man. Like, yeah, you never know when the good times are till you look back. But I really enjoyed, there was a good year window at the OG with a lot of friends that I'm still friends with today. That it was just a lot of fun, hanging out after and partying and all that good stuff.
Making some quick money, being young.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you on the show, man. Thanks for taking some time to get with me. Gus is a NBA super fan. He knows the ins and outs of the league. So earlier I had my friend Justin on, Gus, and we talked a little bit of basketball, but it was mostly about the Jazz, and somehow we got way off the subject and kind of got into talking about foot fetishes and other hilarious things. So I'm hoping you can get us back on track with our sports pod here.
On track. Definitely won't be talking about foot fetishes unless it gets kind of weird on us, but
yeah, you never know what's going to happen on this show.
There you go. I'm up for it.
All right. So first of all, you're a Lakers fan, correct?
100%.
And on top of that, you're our fantasy basketball champion. So congratulations on that. It shows that you know your ins and outs.
14-2.
Yeah, you killed it. I think I got about 4 wins on the season. So
not bad.
Yeah, a little better than I think I took 11th overall in the playoffs. So not great. I'll do better.
You started well, and then you kind of were like, meh. I'll stick to baseball.
Yeah, I
And it was
couldn't
like,
really find anybody on the waiver wires to pick up, and my team just looked bad. And then I think Booker got hurt for a little bit, or he just wasn't doing what I was expecting him to do. And I was just like, man, I'm struggling here. And then I kind of forgot. And I usually hate when
yeah,
people do that to me in my league. So I genuinely apologize that I kind of slacked. And if there is a next year, I
no, you're good,
promise
man.
I'll do better. Let's start it
No,
off,
sure,
man.
man.
What are your feelings on these play-in games?
I could see the frustration. I could see why it frustrated a lot of fans, and obviously a lot of players, especially like the Lakers, the Warriors. I know LeBron wasn't too happy about it. He said some stuff that was like, someone should be fired or whatever. I was like, oh wow, he really is mad. But yeah, I think for the Lakers, they kind of clicked at at the right time and were able to beat the Warriors. But other players, I think it was pretty creative of the NBA to come out and say, hey, we're coming off a year where the pandemic kind of messed up last year, so let's get back on track. The season by 10 to 12 games, and have a playing game. So I thought that was pretty creative, and because they cut down the season short by 10 or 12 games, I feel like they got creative and said, well, because of that, we're gonna do a 7-8 versus a 9-10, and kind of got funky with this. So I feel like it was definitely worth watching. I know a lot of the games have been good. I think the Lakers and the Warriors pulled like the most views on TV since like last year's finals or something like that. So
Yeah, it was
I liked it. I
must
like
watch.
the competition.
Yeah, that was must watch TV. I haven't been following around basketball as much as I should lately, but I watched that game from start to finish, and it didn't disappoint. Like, it was solid all the way to the end.
Yeah.
LeBron taking that three at the end, I didn't think he was gonna get it. He's just so clutch,
Yeah, he shoots better threes with one eye than with two, seems
Yeah.
like.
But I do like the setup of it. Where the 7 and 8 seeds, they have to lose 2 games to get knocked out. I did like the lineup of that. You
Yeah,
think
it's kind of like the 7 and 8 seed is like for them to lose, right?
yeah, for sure. Do you think Memphis has a chance against the Warriors tonight?
I think they do. If um Kyle Anderson was a big part last year, or this year, I mean, for the Grizzlies. I think if he has a pretty good game, and what's the other kid's name that plays there?
Ja?
Brooks.
Oh, Brooks, yeah.
Yeah, of course, John Morant. But if
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks can come through and have a pretty good game for him, dude, they might have a a tough time. The Warriors might have a tough time, but you never know. With, like Draymond Green said, it's whenever you have Steph on your freaking team, you're able to always have a chance, and he's true. And Draymond Green himself is a really good player. He's really smart. He's able to, play off of other people and just rebound and assist.
Yeah, that's
So
funny.
you never know, but I do think they have a chance, though.
I was just talking with Justin before that, saying how underrated I feel like Draymond Green is. I feel like he's just pesky. He knows like when to push the buttons and when to like just dig down and play, And
Yeah,
so I'm a big, I don't know, personality wise, if I'm a big fan of him, but on the court, I'm a big fan of Draymond. I feel like he does a lot. But I do
yeah.
think Golden State's gonna take it tonight. Is that your consensus as well?
Yes, yes. I think just the Warriors have been playing really good basketball, especially towards the end of the year. I think it was one of the hottest teams at the last little 10 to 15 games that they were able to put together, and I think that's just what happens when you have a player like Steph and high QI players like Draymond, and Ben's more. He's been having a pretty good end of the season for him. I think it was a blessing in disguise that Oubre got injured,
Mm-hmm.
and Bensmore was able actually to come in and give him something consistent. Oubre, I think it was a little bit inconsistent this year in his numbers. I know he was injured, I think, for a little bit too, so that didn't help. But I think the Warriors take it for sure.
Cool. So let's say the Warriors do get through to the Jazz. Is that a series? Who you got in that one?
Warriors Jazz.
Yeah.
Oh geez. It's just tough to say right now. I think I would probably go with the Warriors, or
Mm-hmm.
at least say that the Jazz should be very concerned that they're playing the Warriors because, when you're playing a streaky team, no matter where you're at in the West, when you're playing a streaky team, it's just about getting hot at the right times. I think we've seen it with Miami last year. They were a
Yeah,
pretty good team during the season. And then once the playoffs came, it was just like Jimmy Butler went on a whole another level. Um, so if the Jazz don't, give them enough respect, and Draymond and Steph, like, they will pick you apart and they will make you pay.
for
And if the
sure.
other guys are, and if the question for me I have for the Jazz this series is like, what's going to happen with Donovan Mitchell? Is he going to come back and play? Is he going to be on minutes restriction? Are they going to just let him go and play and then you wonder, like, man, is it going to affect them more than actually help them? Because right now they're playing pretty good basketball without him. You can
Yeah,
argue. Jordan Clarkson comes in and, I mean, just been balling every time that guy touches the basketball.
yeah. I'm a big Jordan
Um,
Clarkson fan.
6 men of the year for me, hands down.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I was looking at the odds-on favorites for six man, and it's him and Joe Ingles are both towards the top on
Yeah,
the best odds. So, but I'd
Joe
take
Ingles had
Clarkson
an
over
okay
Ingles.
year. I don't know what they're doing with Joe Ingles, man. I like Joe Ingles, but I'm like, Joe Ingles, motherfucker. There were a couple games he had like 6 or 9 points. I'm like, bro, Jordan Clarkson's been balling all year.
Yeah. I feel like he's the spark that we've always needed for the Jazz coming off the bench, because it seemed like for so long like they could hang with all the big teams, but then it's like once we go second quarter and have to use our bench, that there was no scoring to be found. Maybe once in a while you get an Alec Burks pop off night, but no
Yeah,
consistency. So it's nice having Clarkson and Ingles and everybody else. Like, seems like they're a complete team this year. I'm still skeptical myself on how far they can make it, but we'll see. I just think like it's crazy. The Jazz and Suns were the 1 and 2 seeds, and it's like that's a good spot to be in. But unfortunately, this year, the Lakers and Warriors like took a while to get going, whether it was injuries or just chemistry. And now it's like
yeah.
this is your prize for earning the top 2 seeds. You get the Lakers and the Warriors. So, how you feeling about your Lakers against the Suns?
I like our chances. I like our chances again. It's like it's about streaks. I feel like in the with teams and the playoffs and stuff. That's what there's so many Cinderella stories, and then some of those Cinderella teams are able to build a good foundation and keep going back and forth to the championship. But I feel like the Lakers have a good chance, man. I feel like they can beat the Suns. Um, they're very well coached, obviously, with coach of the year. That seems like he's going to be. I can't remember his name. Um, the Suns head coach, but yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it's going to be a hell of a series. I just don't think that the Suns have an answer for AD, especially when he's playing the 5. We've seen him kind of switch over against the Warriors when they played Drummond at the 5 and Davis at the 4, and that can just get a little tricky. Sometimes you just have to. And I'm glad that Frank Vogel was able to recognize things like that. I think that's one of the things that it's going to set them apart, just the coaching and the fact that they won the bubble last year. And I think that they're just going to be able to really come up with 5-on-5 matchups that are just going to really hurt the Suns. I mean, the Suns have like a, Ayton. I know he's pretty good. I just don't
Mhm.
know if that's the answer for AD down low, or how he's been playing, especially against the Warriors too.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough for the Suns on him. I'm a big Chris Paul fan. I'm pretty sure you knew that, but I'm like hoping that his veteran leadership could at least make it a series. But
Yeah.
I still don't see anybody beating the Lakers if they can stay healthy. I just think that they're the team to beat. How's Drummond been working out for you guys since you got him?
Um, I don't think I think it's clicking better, but I don't
Mhm.
think it's clicking enough to where you're like, all right, he can be in any 5-on-5 matchup with any other team in the West. Sometimes he does become um, you know, a liability on the court with certain matchups from the other teams. But sometimes he becomes very valuable when there's, you know, bigs that or just space that he needs to cover and make it harder on, those guards. But he's been okay. I think as long as it's just a good tool to have. So I've liked the fact that he's added. Sometimes Marc Gasol comes in too and does some work with this creative, Spaniard style. So sometimes I feel like he brings more value to the table, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just about matchups. It's good to have Drummond, so you throw him in the mix of things and pick a team apart. That's always good.
Nice. Cool, man. Well, we're going to move on to the next matchup. This one,
Yeah.
we were debating a little bit earlier of who's going to come out winner in this. Denver and Portland. What are you seeing in that series?
And all the West are so tough at the first round. You're like, oh man, your heart breaks every time because you're like, you want to say the Nuggets are going to struggle because Jamal Murray, had a torn ACL, which he was my fantasy starter. And so it's hard to say that the Nuggets are just going to fold to the Blazers because they have, old Nikola, that's his name,
Yeah.
big dude. I can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Jokic.
yeah, Jokic. So I'm like, man, if he just keeps balling hard, he might give them a good run for their money. They've added Aaron Gordon as well, so they're not wholly. I feel like they're not depleted all the way, to where you just have to hope. I know Porter Jr.'s been having a good year too. If he can help him out in that series, that's already a three-headed somewhat monster. With
Yeah.
Jokic leading the charge. But if Damian Lillard and especially if CJ McCollum too, if they get going, it just makes it really hard to keep up. And next thing you know, you're down by 12, you're down by 14, and it's just a climb going fight against the current, type of thing. So I still have to go with geez.
This is a tough one for me too.
This is a tough one, man. Yeah. But I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets, man.
Cool. You're on my team then. I went with Nuggets as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I just think that a lot of strong depth. I think and yeah, we don't know who's gonna support Dame. I mean, usually it is McCollum, but I just feel like I don't know on that one. And then the last matchup in the West. This one it's probably my least intriguing matchup in the playoffs right now, and it's
Yeah.
the 4-5 Clippers versus Dallas. I don't personally myself see Dallas standing much of a chance. You got anything that would change my mind on that?
Yeah, Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
That's a big piece.
Luka and who else though?
Well, if Porzingis, decides to show up,
Yeah,
that will at least make it somewhat of a series. But the Clippers are also dealing with like a lot of this non-streaky basketball they've been playing. So that would be a concern for me because Paul George has been injured, Kawhi has been injured, which is the reason why Marcus, I forget their name, Markeith and Marquise Morris Sr.
yeah.
over on the Clippers. Yeah, he was able to do so well because of that Paul George injury. So I don't know. I hope they can click, but because you always want to see that Laker Clipper matchup. I don't know if that can happen on this bracket, but yeah, that's an intriguing one. But I don't know. My underdog heart wants to take Luka Doncic just because I'm a Laker fan and I don't want to see the Clippers.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I had to take one, I'll go with Luka. I think I just like him, and but yeah, you have to kind of wonder who else is going to help because if Paul George gets streaky too and starts balling out, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever been to a Lakers game in the Staples Center?
I never have actually. No.
Oh, okay. I've always
I
been
would love to.
interested. Yeah, I've always been interested because I hear it's just like a totally different vibe, like than any other stadium to go to a game to. And I'd really like to go someday. But I mean, tickets are outrageous for that. I mean, ever since then they had a couple
Yeah.
down years, but they were still expensive then. So, but put it on your bucket list. You got to go do it and tell me how it is.
I want to for sure, man. One of these days. I've been a Laker fan since like I came to the States in '99,
Uh-huh.
and I wish I would have gone, but my time was cut short in Southern California. We moved to Utah, so definitely it's always been in my bucket list. That and Fenway. I'm a huge Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
That's a must see for sure.
Yeah, I've never been to Boston either. My wife and I were trying to do this thing where we're going to hit like each summer, trying to hit a ballpark or two and try and see every stadium for baseball. So we're going to have to plan a Boston trip. I'll hit you up. We
Yeah,
can make it a group trip.
yeah. Like what's his name? That just posted that on Brock Holt. He
Uh-huh.
posted that it took him like I think 9 years. He said to see them all.
Oh wow.
He finally took a picture of the last one. I think I follow him on Instagram. Ex Red Sox.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a grind to do it. I've seen people able to bust it out. Like they've lined up a perfect schedule, and like assuming they're retired or really rich, where they just like get a Winnebago or something and hit every stadium, line up the schedule right. And so people have it posted like best ways to go see teams because back east the states are so like close to each other that you could probably bust out like 2 to 4 stadiums each trip. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Definitely knock
yeah.
them all out in like a year or two, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're a little bit slower. I think we've got 6 under our belt, and then we're skipping this year. My wife's going to school, and then next year we're gonna start in Florida, go see a couple games there, and then probably Atlanta, try and do 3. So
Nice.
yeah. So yeah, anyways, a little off subject, but back to so we just busted out the Western
No, you're good, bro.
Conference. Um, did the
Yeah.
Western Conference, Eastern Conference. I'm gonna start with Brooklyn versus Boston. Um,
Okay.
what are you thinking there? Nets gonna be able to click? I mean, the super team factor is it there, or is Boston are they a threat?
They're definitely a threat, but they're not a threat that the Nets should be sleeping, sleep over. I don't think, at least. I think when you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving just, on the court, I know Tatum has been, a good dropping 50 pieces all over the place the last, you know, 10 games of the season. And, um, but I just don't think that that's going to be enough. I don't think he has enough help to beat a Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and I know it's almost guaranteed that Kyrie and Durant will put up 30 piece at least,
Yeah.
and they have, I think, enough tools that, the rest of the team can do and really come out with the win against the Celtics. I don't know if James Harden is going to be playing on that first series. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he looked good the other night when I was watching some highlights. He made the top 10 with that pass that he had underneath the basket.
Mm,
But yeah, if they can get together, I don't think chemistry will be too much of an issue. I think talent trumps chemistry sometimes, and will give them enough time to get through this series myself. Um,
yeah.
and then looks like they'd be matched up against Milwaukee or Miami next. That was a matchup from last year that was a hell of a series. Like you just
Hmm.
said earlier, the Heat got hot at the right time. Do they still have that magic to beat Milwaukee this year?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But it's one of those in the East that it's such a hard thing to say because nobody counted on the Miami Heat last year to make it to the finals, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy Butler just went on whole beast mode, went playoff mode, and you know, literally carried him on his shoulders and was like, "All right, let's go to the NBA Finals."
Yeah.
But I like the Bucks because I don't know. I feel like Giannis is kind of out to prove something this year because he's been kind of knocked out of the playoffs, at least in the first or second round, right? I don't think he's even made the Eastern Conference Finals,
No.
right? Um, could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not
No,
a
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're right. He hasn't made it that far.
yeah. So I don't know. I think he's got something to prove, and
That's
I like the additions that they had with like Drew Holiday.
Yeah, for sure. Healthy Drew Holiday is awesome. It's so
Yeah,
strange to me. Like Giannis was just the talk of everything last year, and I mean they lost to the Heat, like, but they can still bounce back. They're still a solid team, and I feel like they're getting like no like media credibility. Like nobody's talking about them at all. But
yeah.
do you think they could
Could be a
win?
sleeper.
Do you think they could make it to be the Eastern Conference champions?
The Bucks.
Yeah,
Oh
probably
man,
not.
I don't know. I don't. That means that they would have to get through a very good Brooklyn Nets team and a very good and very well coached too Philadelphia 76ers team too,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if they have that in them.
Yeah, and Philly looks like they got a pretty smooth path till towards the end there. I mean Washington's hot, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, but they don't have enough to beat a 76ers team. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're just well coached. They've been clicking well. I think that's what they got the ease. The addition of Danny Green, that gives you a vet that, and he defends well. People sleep on Danny Green's defensive skills, bro. Seeing him with the Lakers, he just locks down.
Yeah.
So, and Ben Simmons locks down. Joel Embiid's a huge thing down low. I think the 76ers are a good thing, good chance to come out of the East for sure. I
Yeah.
really like the Knicks though this year and what they've been doing. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around, but
No, that's good. That's a good transition. I was getting ready to talk about the Knicks. I don't remember if you remember on Twitter earlier this season, I was kind of bashing the Knicks a little bit, like, oh yeah, Julius Randle, what's he gonna do? And you came at me with all the stats of Randle and shut me right up because clearly I'm more of a, when it comes to basketball, I'm more of just
you haven't been watching, bro.
yeah, I know. I'm more of just a talker and what I've been reading and a few
Yeah,
highlights. I'm not.
yeah,
This isn't my, like, baseball is my thing. Football I can do well, but basketball, it's like, this is why
yeah.
I have friends like you to help me through this. But tell me about the Knicks,
There you
dude.
go.
What is it about the Knicks that they're clicking now?
Well, they have a lot of youth talent, dude. Like R.J. Barrett. Um, they have a couple other. Bullock was also a good addition, especially towards the end of their campaign, and I mean, of course, Randall. You know,
Yeah.
Mr. Double Double himself. That's why when you said that on Twitter, I was like, and it's a good assumption that you had because the Knicks have been sucking for a long time. So you had your money in the right place, I guess. But this year, it started looking really realistic for them to make the playoffs. And the way Julius Randle had been playing, it just gives them a chance. And he has the youth players around him that I think they just kind of made it click with who they have, and I think they're gonna be a good group going forward. So.
Nice. So I am a big college basketball fan. I watch that pretty much religiously. Um, I
Nice.
thought Obi Toppin was going to be one of the best out of the draft class this year. Is he doing anything with the Knicks?
Doesn't seem like it.
Not much. So I kind of
No.
busted a bit on that. So I'm hoping he can turn it around and make me look better. Atlanta, they're just a young team, but they're fun. I mean, Trae Young's putting up points every night. You think the Knicks got this series though?
Um, they're gonna play the Hawks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they have a chance. I'm gonna take the Knicks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Knicks on that series. The Knicks actually might be my second favorite NBA team. Maybe right now, maybe I'll change that. My number one for sure, Lakers, but I don't know, man. I just like the Knicks. I like Julius Randle too.
Yeah,
So
because he was with the Lakers for a while too.
yeah, he was with the Lakers. Yep, he
Yeah.
got drafted by the Lakers. You know who
Mhm.
else was on the Lakers? Jordan Clarkson. You're welcome.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember I wanted Clarkson from the Lakers back then, and then he went to Cleveland. I was like, oh man, I thought that
Dude,
could.
and he was good with the Lakers too. He would always come
Yeah,
in and just, off the bench, do like 14, 16 points consistently.
yeah, and yeah, it's something that you need.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna put you on the spot for a few questions, so you can think about it for a second if you need. Remember last year in the playoffs, Jamal Murray was just like a superstar that came out of the rough, like just dominated for a couple series.
Yeah.
Give me a player that's going to be the standout superstar in these playoffs.
Um, I think in the East for sure, Julius Randle.
Nice.
I think he might take the Knicks to a kind of far into the season. You'll have to wonder if they can beat the Hawks. They'll get the winner of the 76ers and Washington, it looks like. So I'll take Julius Randle on the East. And then I think Luka Doncic, bro, in the West, because like I said, if um if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and the company over there at the Clippers, uh, if they don't get it together, dude, Luka Doncic will put you away, and he averages enough assists where he gets everybody involved and he just picks you apart. And if Porzingis can help him out, I think that's going to be, one of those Jamal Murray moments where you're like, holy crap, he
Yeah.
really is not just good in the regular season, but he will put you away now. Because that's what Jamal Murray did. Donovan Mitchell had 50 points the first game. He was like, okay, hold my beer.
I love that. And then he went off, and then he did that interview after the game, and they told him they were playing like the next night, and he like just put his heart and soul into it. He's like, we got to play again tomorrow. Did you see that interview?
No, I don't
was,
think I did,
it
dude.
was pretty
I
funny.
actually didn't like Jamal Murray at the beginning. Like, well, I guess a couple years ago when he did that to Lonzo Ball. Remember, he dribbled around him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that pissed me off. I was like, dude, this is my Lakers. You're doing that, bro. Like, don't disrespect us. And but I don't know actually, and I thought the same about Donovan Mitchell, just because obviously I'm a Laker fan in Utah, and
Yeah.
but after seeing them play each other in that series, I got so much respect for both of them that I drafted them on my fantasy. I
Yeah.
traded one, then I lost the other one to torn ACL.
ACL, damn. All right, so final question: who's coming out the West, who's coming out the East, and who's ultimately going to be the champion?
I'd have to take who's ultimately going to be the champion, the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like I'm more realistic about it this time around because, we have LeBron, AD, and a lot of other tools, and we're still the champs. So I like our chances, because anything can happen in the Western Conference Finals,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like them beating the Suns and then meeting the Nuggets versus the Blazers winner, and anything can happen in the Western Conference Finals. But I still like them to come out. And out of the East, man, it'd be nice to see the Nets come out. I feel like if they click, they'll be, obviously everybody's gonna want to watch like a LeBron versus Kevin Durant, AD versus Kyrie, thing like that. But out of the East, I don't know. I want to put my underdog heart is telling me the Bucks, because I really do want to see Giannis, but I just don't know, man. Like something about their team that I don't know if I'll pick you. So I'm gonna take the Nets. I'd like to see the Lakers and the Nets go at it in the final, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, cool, man. Hey Gus, well, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's good chatting with you. Any other things that you want to say before we close this up?
No, man, I just appreciate the invite. This is fun.
Dude.
Always talking about basketball is a big part of my childhood and big part of my teenage years. So it's always been a special sport in my heart, and I just love it. So I appreciate your invite, man. It's always good talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm trying to start to do my podcast weekly again. So as the playoffs go, if you got some free time, I'll be hitting you up and we can get together again.
Let me know, man. I'll be watching them.
Right on. Again, this was Gus the Cat Daddy. Thanks again for coming on the show, brother. I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to finish up with my closing take, and we'll be right back. Thanks, Gus. Hey, welcome back. Just to close off the show, I'm just going to give a little my take on the hot topics in sports right now. Couple things. I've been hearing a lot about Tim Tebow signing with the Jaguars, playing tight end. A lot of people are upset, saying that he's taking a spot of a young player that's trying to make it in the business, that he's just wasting his time. Urban Meyer's just doing him a favor, things like that. So in the past, I have not been a Tim Tebow fan by any means. I kind of got irritated by all of his interviews. He just seems kind of like a goody two shoes lame-o to me. I didn't think he was a quarterback. I didn't think he was an NFL quarterback. He pretty much proved that he wasn't. He left for a while. The guy can do anything. He's very popular. He has a big following. He's done a lot. He tried to go to baseball. This time when people were saying that he was taking up spots, I 100% agree with. There's people in other countries that are fighting day in and day out to get a spot. And Tebow got a spot because of his name. Now with football, it might be the same case. I'm not going to discredit that. But I do think in this time, I'm going to be defending Tim Tebow in saying that the NFL is a new game right now. It's different. It's a lot faster. You can be a lot smaller. Tim Tebow's a big guy. He can play football. Urban Meyer's a very innovative coach. They're going to be doing a lot of new things. It's going to be a new system. It's basically you can run a college system nowadays in the NFL because there's so many rules with rules with not being able to defend as much without getting flagged, without hitting as hard, things like that. Lot faster game. Taysom Hill, I don't think he'll ever be a quarterback. I think he's a great tight end. I think he's great for coming in on those systems to do the wildcat when they need him to. I think Tebow's better than Taysom Hill. I still truly believe that. And I think now that the game has evolved, where we're at with Urban Meyer as his coach, Tim Tebow is going to be an excellent tight end. I truly believe that. And I don't think he's taken away from people because I think, first of all, it's worth a shot. He's proven that he can do things in the college system, in an Urban Meyer type system, because Urban Meyer was his coach. But it's a new game. He can do it. Second of all, it's a big cash grab. They already got his jersey for sale on the website. And I know there's going to be a lot of Tebow jerseys, and it's a spectacle. Mr. Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, also owner of AEW Wrestling. He likes a spectacle. He likes to have fun. He wants to put a fun show on turf. They got two excellent running backs with ETN and James Robinson. They're talking about doing ETN as a wide receiver, Tebow at tight end, who could also come in and do a quarterbacking thing. I think we're in for a lot of fun with the Jaguars. I don't think they're going to be a great team, but I think they're going to start going in the right direction, and you're going to see that Tim Tebow can do this. Ugh, that hurts. I never wanted to be a Tebow defender myself, but I got to call it like it is. Moving on, baseball. I know there's not a ton of baseball fans out there, but this is my jam. And over the years, it's America's greatest pastime, and it's starting to lose a little bit of viewership as younger kids are more into soccer, football, basketball. Baseball's kind of fallen by the wayside. So baseball, Rob Manfred says, "Oh, let's get the game fun. Let's do some bat flips. Let's do this. Let's let the kids have fun." This is what they say: "Let the kids have fun." They made a big commercial about it, like, "Oh, we're the new kids. We're gonna be flipping the bats, and if you don't like it, tough, you know." And as soon as these things happen, earlier in the season, Nick Castellanos trucks over a guy at home plate and postures over him and flexes, gets a 3-game or a 5-game suspension. So they say, let him play, but they don't really want to let him play. Unwritten rule in baseball, when you're up a lot, you just, if they're going to walk you, you take the walk, right? If you get a hit that you could probably stretch out to a double, you take a single just out of respect. I've never liked that. Baseball has no time limit, first of all. So anybody could come back. You want to put on as many points as you can. If they want to stop you, they got to get you out. Like, that's all there is to it. So anyways, earlier this week, Yerman Mercedes, a rookie, I think this is his third team that he's been on. He's been cut from a couple teams, never really got much of a chance. Comes onto the scene and starts the season batting like 500 with all these home runs. He's having a good season. He's starting to balance out a little bit, but coming back. Anyways, they're up quite a bit in a game, and he gets up to the plate, gets 3 straight balls. So it's a three balls, no strike count. He looks over to the third base. So there's a third base coach. They tell you little sign, little hit the ball, steal, things like that. This time they said, take the pitch. Don't embarrass them. Just take your walk and we'll move on. Well, Yerminator didn't like that too much, and he took a 3-0 pitch and blasted it for a home run. This caused a bunch of issues. The coach, the manager got upset. Tony La Russa, excellent Hall of Fame coach, might be past his prime in today's age of the game. The White Sox signed him. This is his first year. got so upset. He yelled at him the whole way around, said that there's going to be some type of punishment for him. I don't know how I feel about it. So there's two things. Number one, you should always listen to your manager. Like if you're going to have control of the clubhouse, you got to be a synced team. You need to trust in your manager. The manager needs to trust in his players. So by Yerman doing that, I think that he probably shouldn't have. But I don't think that the call to take the pitch should be happening in the first place, because it's today's new game. Like, let him swing on 3-0 pitches. This shouldn't even be a conversation. We're to a point where this shouldn't even be a conversation. If you want to hit the ball, if you want to keep your stats up, like, more power to you. If you don't want him to get his stats up, strike him out. Don't get him in a 3-0 count. That's it. That's all I have to say. I don't think the White Sox thought it through, signing Tony La Russa as their manager with this young team. Maybe I'm going to be wrong, but it sounds like he's already starting to lose the team. He's had a couple players in interviews saying that they back Yerman. It's creating a divide over something so silly. I've never liked it. If you want to get him out, get him out. If not, don't expect him to take a walk. Yerman, you should listen to your manager, but at the same time, your manager shouldn't have called it. Final answer. Again, I want to thank Justin Stevens and the Cat Daddy Gus coming on the show, talking about basketball. Had a lot of fun today. Thank you guys for listening. This is the Stabler and Friends show. See you next week. You know what? I thought that was going to be a cool way to end the show. Just tight rant, mic drop, get out of here. But I forgot one thing. I wanted to let everybody know I put on Facebook, did a contest to see who could guess what my very first jersey I bought was. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of comments. I wanted to know who your guys's first jersey was as well. I'm a huge jersey fan. I know I'm probably too old for it. I'm the schlub that's still wearing them to the bars for Sunday football and things like that. But I just want to give a quick shout out to a few people. Mike Middleton, friend of the podcast. He's the one that's came on and helped out with our fantasy, or not fantasy, our NFL draft segments. Knows his stuff about football. He guessed multiple times. I didn't really have a rule on how many times you can guess what my first jersey was, but he was the winner and got a $25 gift card, courtesy of Stabler and Friends. I'm going to keep coming up with poll questions, see if we can have some guesses, some trivia fun time. And yeah, I just I'll be giving out gift cards here and there if you listen into the show. Let's see. I'm going to go through a few and see who everybody's first jerseys were. Greg Ard had a Keith Van Horn jersey. That was a fun one. Loved Keith Van Horn, University of Utah. Quite the bust in the NBA. Pretty crazy that he went right after Tim Duncan. What a separation that was. Mike Middleton, the one who guessed right, first one was a John Elway jersey. Fitting, because all I ever see him do is wear jerseys. Let's see who else. I'm going to give a few more shout outs. Jason Doug, J Doug, Carl Malone. Excellent one. He guessed Sir Charles Barkley for me. I always wanted a son's Charles Barkley. I remember I got a Houston Rockets Barkley when I went to the game against the Jazz. My aunt got that for me, so that was pretty cool. Matt H had the old Raptors jersey with the Air Canada, with the Raptor on the cover, the purple one. That was a cool jersey. Never had one, but that was pretty damn cool. Who else we got here? Brianna had a Kyle Korver jersey. Jordan, this one was probably my favorite story. Was she says, my first jersey was a Junior Seau, one that my dad regifted to me as a child because he didn't wear jerseys, and I still have it. The first jersey he ever bought for me was a Sean Marion jersey, and it was right after his Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year award that he had. Her favorite jersey was an Eric Weddle, so clearly a Chargers fan here, but all solid players. So University of Utah player that went to the Chargers, good combo. Cody had a Deion Sanders, my buddy Bruce Musgrave, Emmett Smith, or Troy Aikman, he says was his first. Definitely a Cowboys jersey. Oh, this one, I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite. My good friend Stephanie, diehard Packers fan, hates on my Dolphins all the time. Her first jersey was a Dan Marino jersey. I wish, if you're listening, Steph, I really wish you would have stayed with the Dolphins. We could have had such a different friendship. We could have been friends together on football Sunday instead of bashing each other. Let's see. There's who we got here? Paul, first jersey was a Michael Jordan, but it was the 45. He says he still has it. I wish I had my Grant Hill jersey still. But I don't know where it went. And I think that was everybody. Oh, last one. My boy Titty Tom, had a Lamar Odom Clippers jersey. First jersey ever. That's kind of a fun one. Random. He says it was not sure why he got it, but it was probably on clearance or something. So good one to have. I love jerseys. Shoot me a message if you didn't already comment some jerseys that you like. I love talking about them. So once again, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Talk Tirade with Stabler and Friends, or just Stabler and Friends. I think we're going to switch to just Stabler and Friends. All right. Thanks again for listening. Have a good day, guys.